Hey guys, we're going to get started here. What I want to do is I'm going to use Dan McBrayer. He's been generous enough to let us kind of log in and use his profile today. I just want to kind of walk you through, like I said, maybe 10 little simple things you should be doing and you should be pinpointing. Some of this stuff is going to be very beginner. Others, other of the stuff will be maybe a little bit more advanced, but bear with me. I'll go as slow as I can, and confident this will be worth 15 minutes of your time. So right off the bat, guys, obviously all of you have come to me. We have websites for you. We've gone in and we've set up what's called the Facebook business page for you. And what you're looking at right now is you're looking at Dan's business page for his agency, the McBrayer and Company page. And it's important to understand that the business page has different features than the personal page. Obviously the business page has all sorts of tools you can put on here. Dan has his request a quote button. When people click on about, it's much more business savvy. And really one of the most common questions I get from people is, well, if I start using this Facebook stuff, I got to keep personal, and I got to keep business. And you're absolutely going to do that. That's not a problem. It's very easy to do. So my point is all of you should have a Facebook business page. That doesn't mean all of you have Facebook personal pages. So one thing I really would suggest is you do have a Facebook personal page. Regardless of what level you want to use it at, I think it's important you have both pages so you learn which has which features and how they work. Okay? So the first thing you should do, if you just got started, you just got the business page up and running, you should create a personal page, and you should go to your business page, the page I've given you. It's going to be on your website. And the first thing you should do is go to that page and click on the like button right here. Okay? That means you're going to become a fan of your page. And if I haven't done so already, that's going to allow me to make you an administrator. You have to be a fan of the page before you can be made an admin. Okay? So step one, go to the business page we've created for you, and obviously like it. Become a fan. I will then, you may want to shoot me an email if it's been a while since we've created it to say, hey, Ken, I like the page. Make sure I'm an admin. We'll go in. We'll make you an admin on the page. The next thing you want to do is you want to go back to your personal page, and you want to make sure that the tag next to where you work actually goes to your business page. So here's what I'm saying. You'll see that it says Dan is the president at McBrayer Company Incorporated. If I click on that, it takes me to his business page. Okay, so that means he's set it up correctly. Here's an example of a guy who hasn't set it up correctly, this guy Cooper Morris. You'll see he works at Cooper L. Morris PC, right? When I put my mouse over it, I see the gray briefcase. It's basically what's called a place page. If I click on it, I don't go to his business page. I go to this kind of blank spot that Facebook made because they didn't know what to do with that guy's page. So again, when I'm at Dan's, it's set up correctly. I put the mouse there, and it loads his page. So step one, make sure you're the admin. Step two, make sure when people go and click on where you work, it goes to your business page. So how do you do that? How do you set it up? Well, you want to go into your personal page and click on this Update Info button right here, okay? And you want to click on that, and you'll see under Work and Education that Dan is set up correctly. We know he's set up correctly because we see the picture, okay? We see that it's linking to his business page. What you want to do here is you want to go in, and I'll just kind of delete it out real quick. You want to come in, and you want to type not the name of your agency, but you want to type the name of your business page. Okay, that's important. So just to kind of look again at Dan, if we go to his business page, we can see the name of it is McBrayer and Company Incorporated. I don't know what he calls his agency. Dan, I apologize if I'm rambling on here, but who knows exactly what he calls his agency. But he's called his business page McBrayer and Company. So my point is you have to replicate that when you're typing in the page so Facebook knows to link it. And it's, you can see he's got a capital B. I have to replicate that. So again, as I kind of type it in here, what you should see is you want to type it in and then hit the tab button. And, of course, Facebook's giving me a problem. But assuming you're an admin here, the page will come up. I'm 1,000% confident. I just am having looks like a little internet issue where there's no data coming in here. But it will pull the page. You then want to link it to your page. And, Dan, I'll have to fix this in a second. I'm not sure what's going on. I may need to refresh my screen. So that's kind of step 2, which is to make sure that your page is linked to you. Okay? The third thing you want to do is you want to start getting connected to people personally if you can. Okay? And the way you can do that is you can click on the little Friends tab. And in the upper right-hand corner here, whoop, they changed it up on me a little bit. You'll see that you can click on Friends, and then sorry guys, I lost my train of thought here. Anyway, you have the ability to connect with people personally. I suggest you do that. Facebook's going to recommend people. It's the first step for growing your business page. So when we go back to your business page here, one thing that's important to understand is that you want to get people becoming what are called fans of the page. That means they're coming to the page and they're clicking the like button, okay? And that is what is, obviously getting them, that's making them become part of your distribution when you post on your business page. And sorry, guys, I'm trying to do 10 things here and talk at the same time. So my point is the next step is to start to try to grow your business page distribution. And when we go to Dan's page, we can see that he has obviously 82 people who have liked the page. So when he's posting, boom, it's going out to 82 people. So I guess where I was getting at is you want to start to connect with at least people you know initially, even your clients on a personal level. Then go into the business page and click on this Build Audience button and click the Invite Friends button. Now, here's a quick tip. It's going to default and say Recent Interactions. You want to select Search All Friends. And you'll see that Dan has some people that are grayed out, and he's got some people who have color. You want to go through and select the people who have color. And the reason the people are grayed out is because you can only invite people once. But you want to go through and select anyone who hasn't been invited. And what's going to happen is it's going to send them an internal Facebook message saying, hey, look, Dan is now promoting his business. If you get a chance, go to the page and become a fan. And again, the way people become fans is they come to your page and they click this like button. Okay, this is the opt-in button. It's just like becoming part of your email newsletter. And I think that's the concept you guys have to kind of think of. Facebook, your business page, it is an email newsletter, except you're not sending it out once a quarter. You're sending out thoughts once a day. And that's really where it becomes powerful. And that's really, especially if you're selling personal products, you're trying to tap into business owners, I'm beyond confident that if you put the time in and you get a nice distribution, you're going to get more referrals. This has been going on too long now to deny that is not happening. We all know it is happening, and obviously that's why Facebook has become, just ginormous. But it starts with having that personal page, making sure that you understand the difference between the personal and the business page, and then you start to try to work on growing your distribution on the business page. Make sure that the page is set up correctly. You want to go into the Edit Page button, and you want to kind of just go through everything. The first thing is if you just got started and maybe you just got 25 fans, you can then set up the username. And you'll see that Dan has set his username to facebook.com, McBrayer Company, Inc. Once you get 25 people as fans, Facebook lets you set up your own web address, your own custom address. And until you set that up, your searchability isn't going to be as strong. So there may be a few of you guys who've kind of overlooked that, but once you get those 25 fans, go into the page, take a look at the username, and if your address is still facebook.com /pages / a bunch of numbers / your agency name, you want to go in there and set that up. Very important. And then what's also very important is to make sure that all of your details are set up in your page. You have your website address, you have your email address, you have a good overview of the company. All this stuff is very important. All this stuff is highly search engine optimized and searchable. So you want to make sure all that stuff is complete. Then once all that is done, then you want to start to make the page active. You want to start to be providing daily content on the page. And you'll see that, Dan had a tip on wellness yesterday. But all he's doing is going in once a day and just posting either some thoughts on insurance, thoughts on his products, and, obviously things that people are going to interact with. And look what's happened. He's gotten a bunch of recommendations from friends, from clients, all good free advertising for the brand, and certainly that becomes the beginning of the process of being successful. So let's kind of just review here some basic concepts. I don't want to overload you guys with too much information, but I think it's important you understand how everything's flowing. So again, first concept is that obviously you have a personal page, okay? And this is where your personal life stuff's going to occur. You're going to keep personal stuff personal, business stuff business. We've set you up with the business page. That's going to be the focus. And I think my point was initially, to get that business page initially going, you can utilize the personal page a little bit, and you can try to invite some of the people you're personally friends with to become fans of the business page. So here's a question I just got. Ken, I have a neighbor. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I talk to him all the time. Is he a good person to become a fan of my page? We're never going to do business together. And that's a great question, and that's a common misconception out there I always hear. People will say, look, I don't want my neighbor to be a fan of my page. I don't want my cousin to be a fan of my page because I just know I'm not going to do business with them. I don't want to do business with them. So is there any value in getting them to become a fan of the page? And that's kind of the old thought process. But with social media, you have to understand that it's more of a kind of three-dimensional game that we're playing. So my question would be, look, do you have a good relationship with that neighbor? Would he refer you people? And most of the time people say, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, my cousin refers people to me. My neighbor refers people to me. We're just not going to do business together. So you have to kind of understand that there is a good relationship there. You could generate referrals from those people. So yes, absolutely, you want those people to become part of your business page, because what can happen if you start posting, obviously it's going to your neighbor. It's going to what's called their news feed, their ticker of information. And if I click on home up here, we're going to see Dan, hold on one second. If I click on the home button, we're going to see Dan's news feed. These are all the people he's friends with. Or you'll see that he likes AARP Georgia. So he's getting those posts. And my point is if Dan was to go in here and comment on one of these posts, boom, that post would go to all of Dan's friends. So I guess my point is yes, we want our neighbors to become fans of our page, because if we can get them interacting and liking our posts and commenting, boom, our post is going to our neighbors. Sorry, I said that too fast. If he interacts with it, the post is going to go to our neighbor's distribution list. And if one of those people on the distribution list said, hey, neighbor, is this guy any good? I need help. Yeah, that neighbor's going to refer you. So I guess that's my whole point. My whole point is we're trying to generate referrals here. We're trying to get as big a distribution as we can by kind of going viral. And all of that starts with getting that initial distribution. So if you only have 10 or 20 or 15 fans on your business page, don't feel down. You can still do damage with that. You can still tap into literally hundreds of people, if you're posting. And that's kind of where we're going in the next few webinars when I start to do a few other beginner ones in the coming weeks. You need to understand that there's two things going on with social media, and there's two things that you can never stop doing. One, you always want to be increasing your distribution list. That never should stop. And two, you always have to be posting to get that content out to your distribution list. That should never stop. And that's why a lot of people struggle with social media. They do it for 3 days. They don't see any results. They give up. It's like going to the gym. It's January 15th and you're back in bed sleeping. You gave it 2 weeks and you didn't lose any weight. If you just would have kept going for another 2 weeks, you probably would have lost 20 pounds. So my point is that it's the same concept. It's a never-ending marathon of just doing 2, 3, 4, 5-minute little things a day to increase that distribution and to get your logo and your agency out in front of friends of friends. And I think we can all agree that we want to get in front of friends of friends. That is our target market. That's where the referral comes from. So guys, hopefully this was